Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you. This video was a little bit of a letdown to me because I thought I was going to be able to help this customer out pretty easy. I thought I was going to be able to get them back on the road with something that was very, very obvious. And when you watch the video, you'll see that this could have went two different ways. This is a vehicle that has literally been sitting here for probably a year, untouched. And we bought the business about 7 months ago. So this vehicle was here before we bought the business, and this is how long this vehicle's been sitting here. And previous ownership of this business has led us to be months and months and months behind, because there were a lot of vehicles that were dropped off that was here well before we took ownership, like a year or more. And we're playing catch up with all the previous shop owners' work that was left behind. And unfortunately, this was a situation where I could not save this situation and make it right to the customer, because now the customer is actually going to junk the vehicle after I found what I found. Let's get into the video. So we have a BMW 335i or 323i convertible, 2.5 liter. This is a 99 model. If you look, we're up to complete operating temperature right now, and it's going to keep climbing. This vehicle was one of the vehicles that was here from previous ownership before we bought the business 7 months ago, and finally got around to getting through all the vehicles that were left over from previous ownership. One of the first things I noticed at full operating temperature, look how slow that fan is turning. The camera picks it up better than I can with the naked eye. That's how slow it's turning. Now watch what happens. That's not good. Something's wrong with this clutch fan hub assembly. It looks like it's a viscous style. There's no wire going down to it. You need the fan clutch. You should not be able to do that. You can almost stick your finger in there and do it by hand. Yep. Clutch hub's gone. So this vehicle's been sitting here this entire time because of the fan clutch assembly. So we got two problems here. You hear that sound? So not only is the fan clutch bad, we got a head gasket leak. Check the temperature. I'm gonna have him give it a little gas. Just a little, not much. Oh yeah, we got a head gasket problem. Shut it off. Yeah, we got a head gasket problem. It's all the air pockets are working its way through. Yep, and it looks like a little bit of oil is mixing.
That's not what you fucking told me. I found it out on my own.
No, I'm saying. After getting a little bit more story on the car, I found out that the customer basically just wanted to diagnose. She wasn't even really wanting to put a ton of money into it. She wanted to figure out if it was worth putting the money in. Well, now here we are. So I've got a combustion. No, it's not what you think it is. It's a combustion leak tester. I'll show you how to use this thing.
Yeah, it's always fun to work with you. I follow directions well, man.
You do. I like working with you. Here we are. And there's a, this is a test fluid. It's by block tester, combustion leak test fluid. And then you fill it up. So far. And then this will turn to, as the vehicle's running, you put this over the radiator fuel cap, and then there's a pump on the top of it, and it is not what you think it is again. This is not the erection pump.
Do we need coolant, Rich?
No, I'm going to leave it where it is. It's about half full. And then while the vehicle's running and this is down in the hole and it's bubbling, you pump this thing, and it will pop a ball back and forth, and it will try to suck air through the system. And whatever gas is inside there will change the color of this. So let's try real quick. Gotta let it start bubbling again inside the reservoir. Alright, now we're starting to get a little vapors. I'm waiting for it to start, a little vapor to start building up inside this. Okay, starting to bubble. Now, watch. Starting to turn a little tint of yellow. There it is. It's starting to turn green. Here, now I can just let it do it by itself. There it is. Starting to turn green. There it is. Got a head gasket problem. Shut it off. Yeah, it's bubbling right now. Careful when you take it off, because you may entice this thing to just boom. Yeah, it's got a head gasket issue. Then there's your color of your fluid. It went from blue to this yellow color, and it'll keep getting even yellower. You got a bad head gasket and a fan, and probably power steering assembly. And I bet what happened is the head gasket was causing this thing to run so high all the time that it worked this fan, and now you can see fluid all over on the back of the viscous. Let me show you. There's a viscous assembly right there on the back of that fan, and it's wet, and the front of the pump or the pulley and everything has fluid all over it where that fluid has come out of there. So either the fan went bad and it caused the head gasket to screw up with it overheating all the time, or the head gasket messing up and this thing having to run on high all the time, just wear itself out. To be honest with you, this car isn't worth repairing. And I think that's kind of where the customer was at. I'll show you in the light what it looks like. No good. Head gasket, viscous clutch, power steering. It's been sitting for so long, all the brakes and rotors and everything are going to have to be done. You know, the car's in pretty decent shape overall, but I'll let the customer decide what they want to do. We'll do a little comparison. And there you are. It's got this yellowish green color, and it would have kept getting yellower. See the difference? That's exhaust gas from bad head gasket. And while it's running and bubbling, you sit there and pump this thing, and it will suck the gases that are being released into the overflow, into this, if there's combustion gases, if there's a bad head gasket, and we'll change it.
I had done this before.
So basically what we found here was that this engine had a bad head gasket. It wasn't just because of the fan not working that this vehicle was overheating. The fan probably stopped working. They probably overheated the vehicle a bunch and then ended up losing a head gasket in the process. Well, the result of that now is it needs an engine. And when we were looking for engines yesterday, there were only a couple that we could find, and the lowest that we could find was 119,000 miles for a used engine. And at that point the customer was like, I'm not putting a new engine in it, and I'm not putting an engine with 119,000 miles in it, paying, you know, $7,000-8,000 for install and stuff. So maybe even more, like 10, close to 10 with labor and stuff. So I'm just gonna get rid of the vehicle and just junk it, and I'm not gonna leave the same engine in there, have the head decked or the head sent off to the machine shop and the block and stuff checked and all the prep work and stuff that goes into it. I'm done with it. The vehicle's not worth it. So unfortunately, in a situation like this, there's nothing we can do for the customer, and the customer probably waited a year to find out what took all of half hour, 45 minutes worth of work to tell them the vehicle's junk. It's no good. It's not worth repairing. You could go out and buy a newer one in better condition than this that's better. You buy, you know, 2006 to 2012 Ford Fusion for reliable transportation, or you know, Toyota Camry, or a Honda Civic or Honda Accord, or, you know, some type of reliable transportation that you can get a lot of use out of. An old Ford Focus Z-Tech, run forever. By no means a vehicle to be super proud of unless you really like those, but vehicles that you can really put some miles on and get your money out of it. Unfortunately, we run into these situations. Alright guys, I hope you have a great day. I just wanted to share one of my interactions yesterday with you, and I appreciate you. Be nice. Don't be mean to people. Smile at people. Say hi to them. Hold the door for them. Check on them. Those types of things matter. Check on somebody you haven't checked on in a while. I love y'all. Have a great day. Be blessed.